Before we go any further, pause. Not with your body, but with your awareness. Because something is already happening inside you right now. A quiet recognition, a subtle pull, a feeling you can't quite explain, but you know it's real. This isn't just a video you clicked on. This is a signal you were guided to receive. And if you can feel even the slightest resonance in your chest, if something in you is leaning in, listening more closely, then don't ignore that. That is your intuition activating. So before we open this portal fully, anchor yourself here with intention. Take 1 second and do something powerful. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and in the comments write, "I can feel the shift." Not for me, but for you. Because when you type those words, you are not just commenting, you are confirming your awareness to the universe. You are saying, "I am no longer asleep. I am no longer disconnected. I am ready to understand what is happening to me." And the moment you declare awareness, everything begins to accelerate. Because what you're feeling right now didn't start today. It didn't even start yesterday. It's been building, quietly, gradually, beneath the surface of your everyday life. There were moments, small at first, where something felt off. Conversations that used to flow suddenly felt forced. Places that once felt comfortable now feel heavy. People you once connected with now feel distant, almost unfamiliar. And you tried to explain it logically. You told yourself maybe you were overthinking, maybe you were tired, maybe it was just a phase. But deep down, you knew it wasn't that simple. Because this feeling, it didn't go away. It got stronger, more precise, more undeniable. Like something inside you was slowly waking up, and as it woke up, it began to reject everything that didn't align with it. And that's when the questions started. Why do I feel so different lately? Why can't I relate to people the way I used to? Why does everything feel out of place? Listen carefully. Those questions are not confusion. They are awakening. Because the version of you that once fit into that world is no longer the version of you that exists now. You didn't lose yourself. You expanded beyond who you were. And expansion always feels unfamiliar at first. It feels like disconnection. It feels like isolation. It feels like something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. Something is activating. There is a frequency moving through the earth right now. Not something you can see with your eyes, but something you can feel with your energy. And you felt it before you understood it. It didn't arrive loudly. It didn't shake your external world all at once. It entered quietly, through your emotions, through your thoughts, through the subtle shifts in how you perceive reality. And once it entered, it began to change you. Not by force, but by resonance. Because your soul recognized something, a timing, a moment, a doorway. And without asking your permission, it stepped through it. Now everything feels different. The noise of the world feels louder, yet emptier. The routines feel mechanical, disconnected. The energy around you feels dense, like you're moving through something that no longer fits. And part of you is trying to hold on, trying to stay grounded in what you've always known. But another part of you is pulling away, watching, observing, questioning everything. That part of you is the real you, the awakened you, the version of you that can no longer pretend that everything is the same, because it isn't, and it never will be again. So if you're feeling this right now, if something inside you is saying, yes, this is exactly what I've been experiencing, then don't stay silent. Don't minimize it. Don't push it away. Declare it. Go down into the comments right now and write it with full presence.
I can feel the shift. Not casually, not half-aware, but intentionally. Because this is your moment of recognition, your moment of alignment, your moment of saying, I trust what I feel, I accept that something is changing within me, and I am ready to understand why. And once you do that, you'll notice something subtle, but powerful. A deeper sense of clarity, a stronger sense of connection, a feeling that you are no longer alone in this experience. Because you're not. There are others feeling this exact same shift. But right now, this message is about you, your awareness, your activation, your transformation. Because what you're about to understand next will explain everything. Why things feel different, why your energy has changed, why your life no longer fits the way it used to, and most importantly, why this moment, March 24th, was never just another day. It was the moment your timeline changed, and you were chosen to feel it.
There are moments in cosmic time when reality itself reorganizes. Not in ways the world can immediately see, but in ways the soul cannot ignore. These are not ordinary moments. They don't arrive with announcements or headlines. They arrive as energetic thresholds, invisible intersections where timelines begin to separate. And March 24 was one of those rare, irreversible intersections. On the surface, it looked like just another day. People moved through routines. The world continued its noise. Nothing appeared different. But beneath the surface, everything shifted. Because on that day, a powerful alignment occurred. Not just planetary, but consciousness-based. An energetic synchronization between cosmic cycles and human awakening. And when that happens, reality doesn't stay the same. It splits. There are always multiple timelines coexisting, different vibrational realities layered within the same physical world. But most people never notice. They remain in loops, patterns, predictable emotional cycles, because their frequency hasn't changed. But when your frequency shifts, you no longer remain anchored to the same timeline. You begin to drift, not physically, but vibrationally. And on March 24, that drift became permanent. Some people stayed in the old timeline, the one built on repetition, comfort, familiar emotional patterns, unquestioned beliefs. A timeline where nothing truly changes, only repeats with different faces. But you didn't stay there. Something within you responded to that alignment. Something inside you recognized the opening and moved. Even if you didn't consciously choose it, your soul did. And the moment it did, you were pulled into a higher frequency stream. That's why things feel so disorienting right now. Because from the outside, nothing looks drastically different. The same places exist. The same people are around you. The same environments surround your daily life. But internally, everything feels altered. That's the paradox of a timeline shift. You don't leave the world. You experience a different version of it. It's like standing in the same room, but the energy of the room has completely changed. The colors feel different. The atmosphere feels heavier or lighter. The interactions feel off. And you can't explain it to anyone, because to them, nothing has changed. But to you, everything has. This is where doubt tries to enter. You begin to question yourself. Am I imagining this? Why does everything feel so strange? Why do I feel like I don't belong in my own life anymore? But listen carefully. This is not confusion. This is perception expanding beyond illusion. You are beginning to see through the energetic layers of reality. You are no longer reacting to what things look like. You are responding to what they feel like. And that is a higher level of awareness. You didn't leave the world. You outgrew its previous frequency. And now, you are standing in a reality that is still adjusting to you. That's why things feel delayed, disconnected, out of sync. Because your internal shift happened instantly, but your external world is still catching up. March 24 was not just a date, it was a threshold, a point of no return, a moment where your soul said, "I am ready for more," even if your mind didn't understand what that meant yet. And now, you are living inside that decision. You've noticed it, haven't you? Not just in your thoughts, but in your entire being. Something feels different. Not slightly, but fundamentally. And the more you try to ignore it, the stronger it becomes. The first thing you probably felt was exhaustion. Not the kind that sleep fixes, a deeper kind. An energetic fatigue that shows up in specific places, around specific people, in certain conversations. You walk into environments that used to feel normal, and suddenly your energy drops. You try to engage, but something inside you resists. You feel drained without understanding why. That's not weakness. That's your frequency rejecting misalignment. Then came the shift in communication. Conversations that once flowed easily now feel surface level, forced, empty. You find yourself listening but not connecting, responding but not feeling present, because your awareness has moved beyond those frequencies. You are no longer stimulated by what lacks depth. You are no longer fulfilled by what lacks truth, and pretending to be feels exhausting. You may have also noticed a strong pull towards solitude, not because you want to isolate, but because silence now feels cleaner than noise. You crave space, moments where you don't have to explain yourself, moments where your energy isn't being pulled in different directions, because in silence, you can feel yourself again. And right now, feeling yourself is more important than fitting into anything external. Your body has been speaking too, in ways that don't always make logical sense. Random waves of fatigue, sudden emotional releases, moments of clarity followed by intensity. You might feel overwhelmed one moment and completely clear the next. This is not instability. This is integration. Your system is recalibrating to a higher frequency, and it takes energy. It takes adjustment. It takes release. You are shedding, not physically, but energetically. Old emotions, old attachments, old identities. And when those things leave, there is a temporary emptiness. A space where the old used to exist, but the new has not fully anchored yet. And that space can feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Because right now, your entire being is going through vibrational dissonance. Your internal world has upgraded, but parts of your external world are still operating at your previous frequency, and that mismatch creates friction. That's why certain people suddenly feel difficult to be around, not because they've changed, but because you have. That's why certain habits feel unbearable, not because they're new, but because they no longer align with who you are becoming. That's why you can't go back to how things were, even if you try, because your energy won't let you. Every time you attempt to shrink yourself, to fit into old patterns, to reconnect with outdated versions of your life, you feel it immediately. The heaviness, the resistance, the internal discomfort. That's your soul saying, this is no longer where you belong. And here's the part you need to understand deeply. This is not a problem to fix. This is a signal to follow. Your discomfort is not here to confuse you. It is here to guide you, to show you what no longer matches you, so you can move toward what does. You are not losing connection. You are refining it. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming aligned. And alignment requires release. So when you feel that exhaustion, that disconnection, that deep internal shift,
Don't label it as something negative. Recognize it for what it is. Proof that your vibration has changed. Proof that you are no longer operating at the level you once were. Proof that something within you has already moved forward. And even if your external world hasn't caught up yet, it will. Because reality always reorganizes itself to match the frequency you choose to hold. This is the part that scares people. The feeling of disconnection. You look around and suddenly nothing feels like home. Not the places, not the people, sometimes not even your past self. And it creates a quiet grief. But understand this, you are not losing your place in the world. You are being relocated to your true energetic environment. Belonging was never meant to be found in familiarity. It was meant to be found in frequency. And your frequency has changed. That's why the old world feels distant. Not because you are alone, but because you are ahead of where you used to be.
There are things in your life right now that are quietly falling apart. Not all at once, not in a dramatic explosion, but in subtle, undeniable ways. Connections that once felt stable are loosening. Paths you were certain about now feel uncertain. Plans that once gave you direction no longer hold the same energy. And what makes it even more unsettling is that you can feel it happening, but you can't always explain why. You might catch yourself trying to hold things together, trying to fix conversations that feel distant, trying to recreate emotions that used to come naturally, trying to force clarity where confusion has taken over. Because a part of you still wants stability. A part of you still wants things to make sense the way they used to. But every time you try, there's resistance. A quiet, persistent feeling that says, this is not meant to continue. And that feeling is not here to hurt you. It is here to redirect you. Because what is collapsing right now is not your life. It is your old timeline. A version of reality that was built on who you used to be, how you used to think, what you used to tolerate, what you once believed was enough. But you are no longer that version of yourself. And because you've changed, that timeline can no longer sustain you. This is why things feel like they are slipping away. Not because you are losing something valuable, but because you are outgrowing what no longer aligns. And growth often feels like loss before it feels like expansion. You may feel moments of sadness, moments where you look back and wonder, why can't it just go back to how it was? Why does everything feel like it's changing at once? Why do I feel like I'm losing parts of my life? But listen carefully. You are not losing your life. You are shedding an outdated version of it. There's a difference between something ending and something no longer being able to exist at your frequency. What you are experiencing is the second. And this is where your awareness becomes critical. Because you have a choice in this moment. You can try to hold on, or you can allow the release. You can resist the collapse, or you can understand it. But before you go any further, pause for a second. Because if this message is resonating with you, if you can feel this truth not just in your mind, but in your energy, then you need to stay connected to this. So if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Because this is not just content. This is a space where these messages, these awakenings, these divine insights are delivered consistently. And right now, more than ever, you need alignment. You need reminders. You need clarity as you move through this transition. Subscribing is not just about staying updated. It's about staying connected to the frequency of truth. So you don't drift back into confusion. So you don't feel alone in what you're experiencing. So these messages can continue to reach you and guide you step by step.
And if you are feeling this energy right now, if something inside you is saying, yes, this is exactly what is happening to me, then don't just listen silently. Go into the comments and write, I release the old. Because when you declare it, you make space. You tell your energy, I am no longer holding on to what is leaving. I trust what is unfolding. I allow my new timeline to fully form. And that declaration has power. Because the truth is, you were never meant to carry your past into your future. You were meant to evolve beyond it. The universe is not taking things away from you. It is filtering your reality, removing everything that cannot match your next level. And yes, that process can feel uncomfortable because it asks you to let go before you fully see what's coming next. But understand this deeply. You are not being left with nothing. You are being prepared for something greater. Something more aligned, more authentic, more connected to who you are now, not who you used to be. So when things fall away, don't chase them. When connections weaken, don't force them. When paths dissolve, don't rebuild them out of fear. Because what is collapsing is not meant to be repaired. It is meant to be released. And the moment you truly accept that, the moment you stop trying to hold together what is already ending, you will feel it. A shift, a lightness, a quiet sense of relief. Because your energy is no longer divided between past and future. It becomes available for what is trying to enter your life next. This is not destruction. This is transition. This is not the end. This is realignment. And even if you can't fully see where this is leading yet, trust this. Nothing that is truly meant for you will ever require you to lower your frequency to keep it. So let it fall. Let it end. Let it leave. Not with fear, but with understanding. Because what is on the other side of this collapse is a reality that finally matches who you have become.
March 24th did not just shift timelines. It opened a portal. Not a physical doorway, but an energetic passage. A transition point between who you were and who you are becoming. And once you enter this portal, there is no going back. You may try to revisit old patterns. You may attempt to reconnect with past versions of yourself, but it will never feel the same again. Because you are now operating in a different energetic dimension of reality. This portal is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Because transformation never happens in familiarity. It happens in expansion. There is a space you must pass through, a space between timelines, where you are no longer who you were, but not yet fully anchored in who you are becoming. And this space feels like loneliness, not because you are truly alone, but because you are between frequencies. This is where many people turn back. They seek comfort in the old timeline, even if it no longer serves them. But you are still here, which means your soul has chosen evolution over comfort. And that is not easy, but it is powerful. What is happening now is not destruction, it is reconstruction. Your external world is beginning to reorganize itself to match your new vibration. New opportunities will appear, new connections will align, new paths will open, but they will not come from force, they will come from resonance. Your only responsibility right now is to hold your frequency, to trust the process, to not lower your vibration just to feel familiar again. Because what is coming is not meant to match who you were, it is meant to match who you have become. There is something else happening, something subtle but profound. You are beginning to realize your power, not in a loud or external way, but in a deep, internal knowing. You are noticing your thoughts carry weight, Your energy influences your environment. Your presence shifts spaces. This is not imagination. This is activation. You are becoming aware of your ability to co-create reality. And with that awareness comes responsibility, because now you cannot unknow what you are. Right now, you are standing at a threshold between the old timeline and the new one, and the universe is asking you a question. Will you go back to what feels familiar, or will you step fully into what feels aligned? This is your initiation. Not a test of strength, but a test of truth. Because the new timeline requires something from you: authenticity, courage, and trust. You cannot carry old identities into new frequencies. You must choose. If you have made it this far, this message was meant for you. You were not guided here randomly. You were aligned here intentionally, because your soul recognizes what your mind is still processing. You have shifted, and there is no going back. So stop questioning yourself. Stop doubting what you feel. Stop trying to fit into a world you have already outgrown, because your destiny is not behind you. It is unfolding in front of you right now. Before you leave, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below, "I accept my new timeline." Because the moment you declare it, you anchor it, and the moment you anchor it, everything begins to align. This is your activation. This is your turning point. This is your becoming.